Hello, welcome to bakingmad.com. I'm here today to show you one of the recipes from my new book, Cakeology. It's a lovely Christmas one. It's a really simple, rich fruitcake recipe and really easy to make. You don't need to soak the fruit or anything, but it's delicious. So we start off with our ingredients. We've got a mixture of fruit here. We've got some currants, raisins, sultanas, also some Billington's natural glacé cherries. I've actually chopped those in half. Some mixed peel, and I've also added in here just a couple of tablespoons of glacé ginger, which is really delicious. So I'm just going to mix them together first of all, just to kind of roughly distribute that. Just kind of give it a bit of a mix round. Next, melt your butter, mix with some Billington's molasses sugar in the microwave and add to your dry ingredients. Then take some Nielsen Massey vanilla bean paste and whisk into your eggs before adding to the fruit mix. So I've got my flour here and I've got my nutmeg, cloves, cinnamon and mixed spice. So I'm just going to kind of distribute that in the flour just with my fingers. Don't have to sieve it together or anything like that. And now that's done, just pop that in and just give it a mix. So that's mixed in, and now for the best part, the brandy and vodka. So I'm going to add that into my mixture. So there's quite a lot of brandy and vodka in there, and it's going to make it taste delicious. It's so good. I mean, I've never ever soaked this and it always comes out so well. Now pop your mix into a lined tin and bake slowly on a low heat. About 140 for an hour, then turn down to about 120 for a further 2 to 3 hours, checking with a knife to see that it's cooked through. So our fruit cake's been baked. It's ideal if you can do it a couple of weeks before, if not you can do it months before, but I've got my cake here. So the beauty of the recipe that we did earlier is that it's really so full of fruit and hardly any flour, so it's really fudgy and naturally really easy to mould. So simply I'm going to make meatball style little balls with fruit cake. So just take some in the palm of your hand and just make the bodies with roughly about 80 grams of fruit cake, and once you've squeezed it tightly you can just give it a roll just to kind of round it off. Make several more of these, then smaller ones for the heads. Chill in the fridge for a couple of hours and then brush with boiled and then cooled apricot jam. So they're all jammed up, nice and sticky. So the first stage is to coat them with marzipan. So I've rolled out some marzipan here. About guide stick thickness, just a few millimetres. So just cut just across, so you've just got enough to cover all the way over the larger balls, and literally just lay that over the top. You can be really rough with this, you don't need to be super neat because we're going to be covering them in sugar paste. So like I'm kind of making like a shuttlecock and just pinching that off, cut off the excess and then just roll that between your palms. Just to try and get it smooth. It doesn't need to be really perfect, obviously, because snowballs wouldn't be a perfect sphere. So just get those all covered. Just put a bit of icing sugar down there so they don't stick to my table. Continue covering your snowmen bodies, then repeat the process for the heads. So to attach my sugar paste to my marzipan, I'm going to use a little bit of brandy just to kind of dampen the surface of the marzipan. And it also adds to the Christmassy flavour, I think. Cover your snowballs with the sugar paste using the same technique as with the marzipan. Now you need to attach the heads to the bodies using royal icing. So just put a dab on top of each of the bodies. It's quite strong royal icing, it does set really hard, so you don't need a huge amount. So just place those on the top and just give them a gentle press. There we go, and so now I'm going to put the scarves on, and again that's going to give it a bit more stability because it's going to kind of join the two pieces together. So I have some sugar paste here that I've rolled out, nice Christmassy colours. You could use it like this, or if you wanted to, you can even add some texture. So I've got one of the impression pins, you can get all different kinds, so you can just run over with an impression pin and that will give you a bit more detail to your scarf. Just to make it kind of look like a bit of fabric. Okay, and then I'm going to use a ribbon cutter just to get a nice neat strip, but again if you haven't got one you can just use a knife. So I'm just going to go all the way along there like that. Attach your scarves by piping royal icing around the back of the neck, then trim to size. Pipe the eyes with black royal icing. Then to make the noses, roll a small amount of orange sugar paste into a cone shape. Just underneath where I'm going to put the carrot, I'm just going to do a little smile. This is really quite fun because you can give them all different expressions now. But just a few dots. Or you can even do kind of jolly faces, or anything you like. Next, stick the carrots on using white royal icing and pipe the detail for the arms with brown royal icing. And finally, using black sugar paste, add the hats. Okay, so my black sugar paste is rolled out, and you can use a little cutter for the hats. If you don't have one, just make a circle and flatten it. But I'm just going to use a small round cutter just to make the bottoms of the hats. And again, just a bit of royal icing to stick those on the top. And then just take them and place them on top of each snowman. A little bit more royal icing, just using a black now in case it shows, just on the top of each one. Roll a sausage and just cut the 4 sort of chunky tops. And just using, again, simple hand moulding there, just to kind of mould them into the top. And they can all be different, so you don't need to be really exact, just kind of until they look in proportion with the bottom of the hat rim. And there you have my rich fruit snowman cakes.